San Francisco is obviously home to many, many wealthy people, including yourself. You're a self-made millionaire, I believe, right? And you proposed tax increases. Can you explain the different, levels of taxation and what that means in terms of dollars?
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, there are a lot of different tax increases I support. I'd say the big one that I'm talking about that most people don't talk about is actually doing a wealth tax. So I have a proposal on my site, and there are bills out there. Bernie and Elizabeth Warren both have bills to propose wealth taxes, but I have a proposal for a wealth tax of just 2% on wealth over $50 million, which is, I think, very reasonable. It's no one's going to be, hurting for food if they have less than $50 million, and then 3% over $1 billion. And this is just part of what I think needs to be a larger tax package, because I think the other stuff needs to be tied to what we're actually going to do. So, for example, for Medicare for All, Bernie's got a great proposal for how to fund Medicare for All, which will result in slightly more taxes, but no more health insurance costs, right? For most people, you'll be paying, I believe the calculation was about half of what you currently pay to your health insurance company in taxes. But what I believe the wealth tax increase is necessary to just start, getting money back into the coffers of the government to be able to fund all the social services that we depend on. And also to start tackling this crazy inequality that we have in our society, which I do think is a problem. I saw this chart recently that I think it's 50% of all consumer spending was done by the top 10% or maybe the top 1%. So whenever you have this so much wealth concentrated in the hands of so few people, it totally distorts the market. So if 50% of all spending is being done by a small group of people, that means that the market will only be building things for that small group of people, right? It doesn't make sense to be building things at the low end of the market that other people can afford. And so that's a huge problem. And I think that's why we actually do need to decrease our wealth inequality in this country.
Yeah. And that brings us to the huge issue of Citizens United. And I want to have a slightly nuanced conversation about this because I know progressives talk about having a constitutional amendment to overturn the decision. But now, equipped with a law degree and having spoken to the ACLU and things like this, I see the legal hurdles that Citizens United faces. For example, there have been attempts to improve disclosure when it comes to who your financiers are. And the New York affiliate of the ACLU has fought back against that, saying that it chills free speech. But as we know, what Citizens United does is it equates money to speech and it equates corporations to people. So when the wealthy have this increased free speech, it actually chills the free speech of the many who can't afford to throw millions of dollars into political campaigns. But the legal issues are there because the Supreme Court decision is there. It is a huge uphill battle. And even organizations like the ACLU will fight against you when you're doing this. So what is the plan to do this?
So I'd say there's things we can do that's not a full overturn of Citizens United, because I agree that is a big hurdle. Though I'd start by saying I think it's a hurdle, but I think we're actually at a point in our country's history where these are the kinds of things we actually should be shooting for. Like overturning Citizens United, getting rid of the influence of money in politics is really popular. It's a bipartisan issue. There's no reason why this can't be overturned, other than just the politics of it and the people in power, don't want it to happen. So I actually do think there's a path to getting there, because I think if there's anything the last decade has taught us, our politics is in a crazy moment. Anything can happen right now. So I think if anything, like if we're not shooting for the big final ultimate goal, we're probably shooting too low. And so that's my view on that. But even if we can't get there, what Citizens United did is it didn't actually mandate that we need unlimited corporate money. That was decided in a different case called Speech Now. And Speech Now has never been litigated in front of the Supreme Court. And it's actually being contested right now in Maine. So Maine passed a ballot initiative saying we want to limit contributions to super PACs, and that's being challenged. And Larry Lessig's organization called Citizen Equality, I think, is fighting that battle right now. And kind of the argument there, since you have a law degree, I'm going to go into the details here, but the argument there is, the whole idea of unlimited money into super PACs it sort of was accepted because the idea was super PACs can't coordinate, so there's no quid pro quo. But recently, there have been many examples of candidates actually benefiting directly from super PACs, and the New Jersey senators going to jail for that reason,
Right.
partially for that reason right now.
Yeah.
So that's a legal battle. I think even if we don't get that, we can do public financing of elections. There's nothing that's prohibiting that. We can do something like the dollar matching system that states like New York and Washington do, which at least amplify the dollars that grassroots donors put in the campaigns. And that's a way to sort of curb the amount of influence that the corporate money is having in elections. I'd be a big supporter of that. But ultimately, I do think the easiest way to try to get public will on this is to shoot for the big, simple, easy fix, which is we just say corporations are not people, corporate money is not people's money. We should have federally mandated limits on how much can be donated to any election. And people would like it because people get hating spam for donation links for 2 years. Actually, it's full time now. It's 24/7. Every single election cycle, people are getting hit up with ads for money. So I think we've got big public support here. So we should shoot for it.
Yeah, that's a great answer. I mean, you have a substantive plan forward to tackle it despite the hurdles. Hey there, if you liked that video, then subscribe to my channel. Click on the link in my bio to follow me on Instagram, X, and more.